here. This is like most child get born through interesting processes, let's call it this way. The Iberian Forum was something that we started between the Spanish and the Portuguese associations 4 years ago, but was something we were almost talking for a decade. We were doing it physically, we were in the third edition, and then COVID happens. And in the middle of the COVID, we're talking to the Italian association to join us, and maybe it's as much of a regional forum were to network. And then we realized that with the world being online, this was a unique opportunity to get us all together. So we have more than 75 people attending today. We are super excited to be recovering some of the values from INSEAD. We are strong national networks, but INSEAD is all about international networks. It's about collaboration. It's about networking. So we are very happy to be strengthening the bridges between the Portuguese Association, the Italian Association, and the Spanish Association.
Yeah. So we are going to start off with a panel that I'm moderating. The title of the panel is the Economic Outlook for the Mediterranean Region. We will have with us Jorge Sicilia, the chief economist of BBVA, also Carlos Andrade, which is the chief economist of Novo Banco, a Portuguese bank, and Alessandro Desio, which was representing Italy, had a last-minute issue that he can't join us.
But we have the second panel, the sustainability investments, will it really change the world? And we will challenge ourselves to see, are they real? Can we really make a change with this type of investment? For Spain, it is an amazing place to network. It's much easier than Zoom, right? So we have created tables with labels, with topics, to sit down there, relax with a drink, and talk to friends and friends to be made and contacts to be made. Stay as long as you want. If you need to leave before, of course, but if you can there, it's an amazing opportunity to meet.
Thank you for organizing, Sergio, Pedro Lima, and Cristóbal. And I'm looking forward to the networking sessions and to the panels.
Have fun, network, get to know people, be INSEAD. Let's be a force for good, and at least get to know each other to try. Okay.
And we have, as I told you before, the great honor to have Jorge Sicilia, which is a chief economist of BBVA in Madrid, and also Carlos Andrade, which is also the chief economist, but of Novo Banco, a Portuguese bank. So we have the banking sector well represented here. And what was the impact on your country with this new situation that we are all living here?
So the hit was huge. We declined 10.8% in 2020, with a very large decline the second quarter of the year, a very significant recovery the third quarter, but then a stagnation in the fourth quarter, even a decline in the first quarter of 2021. So the recovery is starting now, but the hit was huge, and it was very...
The usual impacts were not seen, although if you had a 7.6% fall in GDP, you would expect unemployment to go up significantly. It didn't go up significantly, for example.
So we have a lot to recover, as I said, because we declined almost by 11%. But chances are that throughout the third quarter of next year, we would have reached the level of GDP that we had before the crisis.
We were quite conservative in our forecast, so looking at GDP rising close to 3%, but we do believe, and we are in the process of revising that it should be closer to 4% growth this year.
What's your recipe for the success?
Positive things is that if you rummage through the Spanish program, you see that there is an effort to try to accommodate the plans into those buckets of changing the economic activity, a big focus on digital and green projects. So that is good, and the money is going to... We looked about the skilling of the labor force in Spain is probably not as adapted as it should be to take this opportunity.
Going out of the pandemic is entering a new thing, a different economy. Not because the pandemic changed things, but as Jorge said, because it accelerated lots of trends that were already in place.
So thank you so much, both Jorge and Carlos. It was, for me, I've learned a lot with you guys, and was a great experience to have you here.
So I have the pleasure to have with me Elena, who is co-founded InnoEnergy in 2010, has been, I would say, the driving force under the innovation arm. Valerio, who I think who just kind of shift the change from the energy master to the master of investments. And last but not least, Isabel. I will try to do it in the Portuguese way. Isabel Ucha de Silva, who is now, currently the CEO of Euronext Lisbon. The company is managed the stock exchange in Portugal, part of managing many of the stock exchanges in Europe. But I think very relevant to today's debate. She's the head of sustainability for the firm across the continent. But let's start with what is the definition of sustainability investments.
It's very focused on the planet, on the environmental aspect, which is great, but we cannot forget the social and also the economic aspect. And I think that
sustainable investment depends on what type of company you are and what type of investment you want to do.
It's a challenge for all involved parties, including companies. I mean, for various reasons, and taxonomies are still unclear, and non-financial reporting is still unclear. It's clearly a challenge and need and an opportunity at the same time.
How much is PR? So because before we talk about CSR, that was the mantra. Now it's ESGs. So how much is this real?
And that is changed gradually and became an essential lever to create value, going forward. So there's clearly a big shift in investor preference and on this topic, and this is becoming the new normal.
Isabel, do you see that in your investors? Do you see that demand for ESGs, and do you see do they understand what they're demanding?
Yeah, indeed, as was said, it's been a really a transformational road, because we feel the demand from our clients, from our investors, from our intermediaries, from our listed companies towards developing solutions.
And while it is easy and it is clear that this is going to take 20 years, again, there's an amount of investment that shall be made by the public. And this is why, we're talking about green deals and the recovery plans.
How is innovation happening, or what has to change to innovate faster?
And it was really a dry environment, because there were few startups, few entrepreneurs, because climate tech, especially at that moment, it was not called like that. It was called sustainable energy. It was a very dry environment because they were facing a lot of challenges.
So we're going to see incredible changes on that front.
And I think we all feel young enough to have a decade to execute and be part of that execution machine that we need to leave this planet in a better situation. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Elena. Thank you, Valerio. So thank you, everybody that stayed until the end. Hopefully some of you are going back to the networking. Thank you for Sergio, NAA Italy. Thank you, obrigado, Pedro, NAA Portugal, Isa, representing Spain, everybody who attended. I hope this is the one of many. All the beginnings are difficult, as we experienced in the physical one with Portugal. But again, Isa, thank you for all the technical support and to be there the whole session. Pedro, Sergio, the next time we're getting Sergio to moderate because he really wanted to speak and technically he couldn't. But thank you for being there. And Pedro, thank you for Portugal. Let's keep the insider spirit alive and reimagine, because I think we need to reinvent ourselves who we are in these times.
Thank you everybody for joining us, and a big thank you to Isa for making all of the magic happen behind stage, because it worked wonderfully. And so let's go have a drink and network all together.
Okay.
Thank you for all.
Thank you. See you soon.